Hello friends, welcome to my channel Academic Made Easy PC. In today's video, we'll see for class 10 maths. Chapter 1, real numbers. Generally, what does real numbers mean? Real numbers are rational numbers and irrational numbers together. That is, rational numbers plus irrational numbers is real numbers. Okay, so in this chapter we will be learning about real numbers. First we will be learning about finding HCF, next LCM, then about rational numbers and their fractional forms. Okay, so now the first topic deals with finding HCF. Euclid's division lemma. So this lemma is used to find the HCF of a number. In our lower classes, we have learnt how to find HCF, isn't it? So for example, if I take 4 and 8, how will I find HCF of it? So I will have the prime factorization for 4, 2 times, and 2, 1, and for 8 I will have 4, 2 times, 2, 1. So here for 4 is equal to 2 square, 8 is equal to 2 cube. In this, I will see the lowest power, isn't it? So if I see the lowest power, then my HCF will be 4. 2 square is 4, isn't it? So my HCF will be 4. So a special method is introduced over here, Euclid's lemma. So let's see what it is stating. Given positive integers a and b, there exists unique integer q and r satisfying the equation a is equal to bq plus r. Using this equation, we will be finding the HCF. Okay, so this r 0 less than equal to r less than b. This is the condition. So now let me give you an example so that you will understand it better. Now for example, I have given find the HCF of 420 and 130. Okay, so let me write for you all. So you may ask, what is the value of A and what is the value of B and value of Q and R? So here a and b value will be given and we have to find q and r which satisfies the given equation. So the greatest number in the given two numbers will be taken the value of a. Okay, so the value of a here is 420 because always a should be greater than b. So if we substitute over here, what is the greater number here? 420. 420 is equal to 130. So 130, how many times gives you 420? You have to check. Okay, that is the value of Q. 420 is equal to 130. I have to multiply something that gives me 420. Okay, if I multiply with 3, I will get 390, and if I multiply with 4, I will get 520. So I cannot subtract. Okay, so I have to add only. So the lowest number I will take, that is 3. 130 into 3 gives me 390. So 390 is there. I have to get 420 as the answer, isn't it? So I will have 130 here. Okay, next I will now this becomes your A and this becomes your B. Okay, so next step, 130 is equal to 30. 30, how many times I will get? 130. I will get 120 for 4 times, and for 5 times I will get 150. So I have to take the lower number, that is into 4 gives me 120. So the remainder is 10. Okay, so now I will, this becomes B, this becomes A and this becomes B. So 30 is equal to 10. How many times I get 30? 3 times, isn't it? So the remainder will be 0. I have to follow this step until I get 0. Okay, so therefore the HCF is equal to 10. This value, the final value over here, will be your HCF. Even if you do it in a normal way, you will get the same answer. Okay. Now let's see Euclid's division algorithm. Euclid's division algorithm is same as Euclid's division lemma. Okay, so let me say you all what is the difference between algorithm and lemma. An algorithm is a series of well-defined steps which gives a procedure for solving a type of problem. Whereas a lemma is a proven statement used for proving another statement. Lemma means it's just an equation. Algorithm, it gives a procedure to use that equation. Now let's see what is given in the algorithm. To obtain the HCF of two positive integers, say C and D, with C greater than D, follow the steps below. I said no, A and B were used in Euclid's division lemma, but here C and D is used. That's the only difference. So now we'll see the procedure. As I already did an example, the same thing in words it is given. Okay, so apply Euclid's division lemma to C and D. So we find the whole numbers Q and R such that it satisfies this equation. Okay, so step 2. If R is equal to 0, D is the HCF of C and D. If R is not equal to 0, apply the Euclid's division lemma to D and R. The second step, which I did not, the same thing is given. Continue the process till the remainder is 0. The divisor at this stage will be the required HCF. As I said, 10 was the HCF, isn't it? The same thing, that is the divisor they are saying. Okay, so if you see this, if you have listened that example carefully, this one will be easy. Whatever I said only, this is there. Okay, now let's see fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Let me say you all an example, then we'll move on to the definition. For example, this deals with the prime factorization. Okay, we know how to take prime factorization. So for 64, I will take the only prime factors can be taken. So this, I have even numbers, so I am taking 2. 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4 times. Okay, so the prime factorization of 64 is 2 power 6. Okay, so when we take for next number, for example 56. Okay, so the prime factorization for 56 is equal to 2 cube into 7, isn't it? This is the example that I'm giving. So 56 can be expressed in the form of prime factors. Okay, you can take in any order. We know that 7 8s are 56. No, so even here I can have 7, so 56. 2. Even this can be taken in, but in any order we can take. Here also we can have 7. That only this definition is explained. Okay, so we are expressing any composite number in the form of prime factors. Okay, that is what fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Every composite number can be expressed or factorized as a product of primes, and its factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. Okay, that as I said you already, every composite numbers can be expressed in the form of prime factors apart from the order in which prime factors occur. That is, this, even this is right, this is also right, and the third method which I said, even this order is right. So whatever order we do with the prime factors, we will get back the same composite number. So every composite number is expressed or factorized as the product of primes only. That only they are saying in this topic. Now let me say you all the difference between HCF or LCM. For example, if we take 6 and 10. So prime factors of 6 will be 2 3s, 3 1 times, and 2 5 times, 5 1 time. Okay, so when we take for HCF, we have to see the lowest power of the each common prime factors. It should be smallest power of each common factor. It means I should have 2 here as well as here, 3 here as well as here, 5 both this for both the numbers. So I have only 2 which is common for both, that is with the lowest power, so I will have 2. Okay, then for LCM I should take the highest power, isn't it? So the highest power of 2 is 1 here, 1 here. So I will have 2 itself. Then into 3 I have here, I don't have here, so I will take 3 only. Then 5, that's it. So I will have 30. HCF is equal to product of the smallest power of each common prime factors in the numbers. LCM will be product of the greatest power of each prime factor. So only I took each and every prime factors over here involved in the numbers. That's it. That's the only difference between HCF and LCM. These are the formulas that should be used to find the LCM if any one of the data is given. Okay, for example, if two numbers are given and HCF is given, we need not to find the LCM with the old method. We can use this formula to find the LCM. Okay, so these are the formulas that should be noted, so we can have these types of questions only. Okay, we may have. Okay, so for finding LCM of P comma Q, that is any two numbers, we will be using this formula, that is product of the two numbers and HCF of those two numbers. HCF of two numbers is product of two numbers and LCM of those two numbers. If the two numbers is given and this LCM is given, then this formula will be used, or else we'll be using a normal method to find the HCF. Okay, even this is same. Now let's see to find LCM for three numbers. Okay, so the product of three numbers into HCF of three numbers, and we have to take HCF of two numbers. Okay, first two numbers, second two numbers, and first and last number. And for LCM, we will be taking only HCF. For HCF, we will be taking only LCM. Okay, so product of those three numbers into product of LCM of these three numbers and LCM of two numbers over here. I think this formula is quite easy. Next topic is revisiting irrational numbers. Now let me say you all what is irrational numbers. A number which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, where Q not equal to 0 and P comma Q belong to integers, will be an irrational number. The set of irrational numbers are generally denoted by Q. Okay, so here they are saying the numbers which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q is called irrational numbers. This is the general definition. Then I have given some examples also. Root 2, root 3, root 11, etc. We will be learning more about it. Okay. The two important note that have to be made is the sum or difference of a rational and irrational number is irrational. That is, if we add or subtract rational number and irrational number, we will get back the irrational number only, not in rational numbers. Okay, so then the product and quotient of a non-zero rational and irrational number is irrational. Even the product or division, this quotient is nothing but division of rational and irrational number is irrational only. Okay, this is an important note. Next topic is revisiting rational numbers and their decimal expansions. In this topic, we will be learning a new and easy method to find the decimal to find the decimal numbers of the given fraction. Okay, so now let me explain you with an example first. So here first example, let me take 15 by 160. So till now we were using a division method to find the decimal place of it. Now there's an easy method which can be followed to find the decimal expansion for this number. Okay, so first we have to see the denominator. So when we see the denominator, it is 116, isn't it? 2 power 5 into 5 power 1. This is the prime factorization of 160. Okay, so now what are they saying means, if we have the denominator in terms of 2 power something and 5 power something, then we can find the decimal form for the given number. Okay, so but before that we have one more step. 15 by 1, I'm writing 160 as 2 power 5 into 5 power 1. So we have to have the powers equal for 2 and 5. Okay, so to have the powers equal, I'm multiplying and dividing by 5 power 4. So if I multiply and divide by 5 power 4, I will have 5 power 5. Okay, so 115 into 625 divided by 5 power 5 into 2 power 5. So if I multiply, I will have 9375 divided by, I am taking this power common, so I will have 5 into 2, that is 10 power 5. Okay, so 10 power 5 means I will have 0.09375. So since it is a division, so I am taking the decimal forward. Okay, if it is multiplication only, we will take backward. No, so I am taking it forward. So I got this answer. Very easy. Okay, so now in the next example, the prime factorization of 8 is equal to 2 cube. No, so 2 cube means then I can have 5 power 0 I will have. Okay, so 17 by 8 means 17 by 2 cube into, I'm multiplying and dividing by 5 cube. Whatever power you have for 2, I have to multiply and divide by that. So I will have 2125 divided by 10 cube. Okay, so I will have 3 decimal points, so 2.125. Even if you do it in direct division method, you will have the same answer. Let x is equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is the form 2 power n 5 power m, where n and m are non-negative integers, then x has a decimal expansion which terminates. Terminates means stops. Okay, I think you will be clear with this example. Let x is equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is not the form 2 power n 5 power m, where n and m are non-negative integers, then x has a decimal expansion which is non-terminating, repeating. Non-terminating means not stopping and it is repeating. Now let me give you all an example. So we have to see the denominator only, no? So denominator is 15 and the prime factorization will be 3 into 5. Do I have 2 here? No, I have 3. So I cannot follow the normal method which I followed for the previous example. So I will say that it is non-terminating and it is repeating. If you have any doubts, mention it in the comment box. Thank you for watching my video.
Like, comment, share and subscribe.